I've been practicing for over 12 years. I was born and raised in Missoula. This is where I want to practice, this is my community, and I want to be there to help the people I grew up with.
I began my legal career in the United States Marine Corps. And I moved to Missoula, Montana and began practicing, and I just couldn't imagine a better place to live. What inspired me to become an attorney is I really have a passion for people, especially helping people. What we do here at Holloway and Hulling is we represent people that are in a very difficult time of their life, and we're here to make sure that their rights are protected and they get what they deserve.
At this time, we're really excited to welcome the Montana State Bobcats out of the Big Sky. This is the third straight trip to the NCAA Tournament for Montana State, as they were the champions of the Big Sky Tournament and beating Weber State, Sacramento State, and then winning the championship game against Montana. In the middle, Defensive Player of the Year, first team All Big Sky, and the most outstanding player of the Big Sky Tournament, Robert Ford III. To his right, all-tournament team, Brian Goracke, and then Tyler Patterson also joining us. Robert, we'll start, before we open things up to questions, just your excitement of being back in the NCAA Tournament.
I mean, for me, it's my second time here. It just feels amazing.
Brian, the same question.
Yeah, this is my first time here at the Division I level. We made the tournament last year and hosted a regional at Point Loma, which was a great experience. But it's cool to be here on the big stage.
Tyler?
Yeah, this is my third year, and just trying to stay in the moment, take it all in.
Questions for our student athletes. Let's go second row in the middle.
Grace Lawrence, Montana Television Network. Brian, you mentioned your jump from Point Loma to Montana State. What has the experience been like sharing that with Coach Logie on this stage?
Yeah, it's been really special. When you get to follow a coach, it's a unique experience. Some of the guys that were here last year got to do that with Utah State, and I've just been really thankful that he's believed in me. I've trusted his vision for this program, and we've made it to this point in the year, and I'd say it's successful so far.
Follow-up question?
Yeah.
You guys have got just so hot at the end of the regular season into the tournament. What clicked in March, Brian?
Yeah, the whole season you're building towards the end of the year, and we just want to make sure we're at our best when it counts. And then, especially in a conference that has a single bid conference like the Big Sky, we want to just give ourselves the best chance to make this run at the end, and then win those 3 games in March, and then make it here.
We'll stay in the second row.
Parker Cotton from the Bozeman Daily Chronicle for Rob and Tyler. Can you speak to what the preparation for Grambling State has been in the last 2 days or so since Sunday?
Rob?
Just, like Tyler said, just staying in the moment and then, following our scout on what we have, prepared for them.
Tyler?
Yeah, just been watching a lot of film and then, seeing their actions and stuff like that, getting familiar with them.
Follow-up question?
Are there any players that stick out or any kind of tendencies that they have that you're going to have to be mindful of?
Tyler?
Yeah, they play really aggressive defense. That's one thing that we've seen that's standing out. So, we just got to take care of the ball and be us.
Other questions? Yeah, go for it.
Rob, Parker Cotton from the Bozeman Daily Chronicle again. Rob, I know that you had your 2 previous championship rings with you on Sunday. I see you have 1 here now. Did they just go everywhere with you now? And how much of a motivating thing is it to have it here with you?
It's just, understanding, I guess, the process and, always being remembered of it. So I guess it's a big thing, but I mean, right now we're just one game at a time, so we're trying to just focus on Wednesday.
Grace Lawrence, Montana Television Network. Tyler, can you talk about maybe the difference of playing a first 4 game this time around, what the experience in Dayton has been like looking ahead to tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's been awesome. it's been a little bit different. Obviously, it's a different circumstance than last year. But yeah, you know, you just try to take it, you know, day at a time, and then do your same preparation for a team that you would as if we were last year, and then try to get a win.
Let's jump on Zoom. Coulter, your question for our student athletes.
Hey guys, Coulter Nuanez, ESPN Montana and Skyline Sports. For both Rob and Tyler, playing in this first four a little different than the experiences you guys had the last couple of years. So, first of all, what do you think of just the opportunity of this? You're obviously putting your program on a big stage, but this is going to be a game that everybody in the country is sort of focused in on and watching singularly. So, what do you think of that opportunity? What do you think of this chance for Montana State?
Tyler?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for sure. You know, we think it's, you know, a winnable game and something that we can, you know, hopefully get an advance on. So,
Rob?
You know, kind of like Tyler said, it's a great opportunity, and you know, we just focused on the game, I would say, most part.
Second row?
Austin Parr, SWX Montana. Rob, you know, from last year to this year, your role has grown so much. So, you know, what has that kind of experience been like? You're kind of like, you know, the man for this team now.
I mean, it's been a big change. I had to step into a leader role right away. But, you know, I feel like we have a lot of weapons. You know, there's a lot of people on our team that can show up any given day. So, you know, me knowing that we have that, it helps.
We'll stay in the second row on the end.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle again. Brian, you've spoken at length, you know, this season of your own transition from D2 to Division I. Having played for Coach Logie before, have you seen any kind of changes in him, whether, you know, that's his process or his demeanor, or has he stayed consistent, you know, in any kind of way? Just what have you seen from him over the last, you know, 11 months or so since he's been?
I'd say for the time I've known him, he's stayed true to himself and his principles. You know, every team you have different personnel, so you have to adapt your style of play a little bit to, you know, best suit the team. But overall, his philosophy really hasn't changed. And I think you've seen that he's had success at the Division III level, Division II and Division I. So.
Second row in the middle.
Austin Parr, SWX Montana. Tyler and Rob, you guys have been here before, obviously, the last couple of years, but what sticks out about this team compared to maybe the last two?
Tyler?
Yeah, I think we're, you know, very balanced. I think we have, you know, a system that allows, you know, certain players to fit differently than in the past, and I think, you know, that sticks out in terms of how other teams guard us, and so I think, you know, that's something that we're really well balanced.
Rob?
I just think we have a, you know, just a different type of game plan with, you know, Coach Logie's philosophies, and coming into it with our defensive principles. I think it's going to help us.
Let's go to the fourth row in the back.
Keaton Glogly, Bobcat Sports Properties. Two questions. First for Brian. When it comes to Coach Logie, I mean, you've been in a lot of championship environments with him. What stands out about how he handles those championship environments? What do you value in his coaching style for these types of moments?
Yeah, well, the process never changed. You know, winning takes what it takes. So we prepare for every game like we want to win it, and then we get to the playoffs. It's the same. It's the same. Same scout, same prep, same everything. You know, just try to win the game.
What is a jewelry design center?
JDC is a family-owned business with deep roots in Montana. Why Montana? Because this community made us family, made us artisans, made us believe in love, made us hometown heroes. Because this community made us shine. Why Montana? Because Montana is home.
Second question.
I mean, it's obviously been a roller coaster ride this season. What would you guys say was the low point of the year, and how did you guys bounce back from that?
Brian, you want to start?
Yeah, I would say there were probably two. We had a road trip where we went to South Dakota, got beat up pretty bad. That was kind of a little bit of a wake-up call that we need to get a lot better. And then just recently in February, we had a stretch where we lost 4 games in a row. So one thing I've really appreciated about this group is we always bounce back from adversity. Every time we've had a low point, it's followed by a high. I think that really showed the way we ended this season. Had a lot of urgency to get to that championship in the Big Sky and then win it.
Rob?
I would say, yeah, that low point would probably be that 4-game stretch that was, it got tough and we didn't know, really what to expect. But, every day our team came in looking to get better. And I think that's what helped us, prosper through and get past it.
And Tyler?
Yeah, I would agree that 4-game stretch was probably the low point. And then, us being able to get back in the gym every day and come back with the same attitude that Coach preaches and, get hot at the end of the year.
Second row.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports. Tyler, you've been here the longest, and it seemed like this week your team coined the motto, the good old days, because of how dominant you guys have been the past 3 to 4 years. Why is Montana State basketball so dominant in this decade, and what does that speak to the culture of your program?
Yeah, I think it has to do everything with culture. It starts from administration and the way that they have hired the last 2 coaches and the visions that both of them had, and the way that they helped us execute their plan. And thankful for us, it's been 3 really good years.
Other questions for our student athletes? Brian, we heard a couple of stories yesterday, Division II, talking with Colorado State. Head coach at Grambling was just talking about sort of D3, D2, and sort of living it, playing in it, and being able to excel with, like, basketball. Can you sort of talk about the journey of winning, from last year and then coming here and performing at a high level and being in the NCAA Tournament at the Division I rank?
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to give a lot of credit to. There's a lot of really good small college basketball players out there, and then winning takes what it takes, and at any level it's hard. So whether that's Division III, NAIA, Division II, like, winners are winners, and that's how it is. So when we get opportunities like this to move up, and we take them, we just keep doing what we're doing, keep doing what got us here, and then that's how we be successful, and just trust the process.
Let's go back to the second row at the end.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. For either of you guys that maybe has an opinion, there's been a lot of talk, in recent months or years about the possibility of this tournament expanding to be more than 68 teams. Do players, do you guys have any kind of opinion on that? Because it seems like it might be something that may not benefit the Big Sky, but would benefit a lot of other teams. Do you guys playing at this level, does that impact you guys much?
Brian?
I didn't even know there was talks of that.
Me either. I'll speak on it. I think it will speak to, like, it allows more teams to get in, allows more people to be seen. So I think, it could be a good thing.
Let's go to the fourth row.
Connor McDonough, UD student sports media. The Big Sky over the past few years has had some of the biggest name transfers come out of it. How do you guys, being the faces of the league lately, recruit those talents to stay in conference?
Rob?
I think it's tough, but, ultimately just building a family, like, seeing. I think we had a lot of players come through here that stay, one, Jabril, he had a really good season. He ended up staying, and the thing that stuck out to him the most, he told me, was just, like, it felt like family, a place he couldn't leave. So I think that's, like, the biggest thing.
Tyler?
Yeah, I think for us at Montana State, it's just that culture, and that that started with, like you said, Jabril, Ahmed Adamu, those guys, my first year, and then it kind of trickles on its way down. But for us, it's just that culture that we've built, and yeah, that really helps.
Brian?
I'll echo what these guys talked about. That family and culture feeling of, when you pour a lot of effort into something, you want to stick with it and respect it. So yeah, I would say that's probably a big reason that people would want to stay.
Let's go back to the second row.
Parker Cotton from the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. I'll follow up on that question. I thought it was really well thought out. I'm curious, as far as being the faces of the Big Sky, anybody tuning into the tournament has seen this program for the last 3 years or will. How seriously do you guys take that, knowing that you are representing this one bid league, and maybe especially as a 16 seed now?
Tyler?
I think we take great pride in that. I think, going back on, the previous question, one of the things, that helps us us keep players is, the opportunities that we've been getting the last 3 years making the tournament. So, I think that's something that is really valuable for players to see. And so, yeah, we take great pride in that.
Rob?
I'll agree with Tyler. Just taking, good pride on that and understanding that, some stuff is bigger than us,
Yeah, I think it's important to keep in mind, everybody else that we competed against that helped us get to this level, right? Like we grew throughout the year playing against these other Big Sky teams. So it's also a credit to the conference as a whole that we've made it.
Question in the middle.
SWX Montana. For Tyler, any of you guys, going back to that tough 4-game stretch, the shooting was a little cold as well, and then you guys turned it around and got really hot. So what changed, if anything, leading up to the tournament and during the tournament?
Tyler?
I wouldn't say a ton changed. I think, the coaches always have had, the belief in us as players. And so, we just stick through it, through the hard times and the good, and then get hot at the right time. And, I wouldn't say anything really changed. I'd just say, we get back in the gym, stuff like that, getting reps up, and then it translates.
Rob?
I would say just, being confident. I think that was one thing that I seen that changed a little bit, especially with myself going into the tournament. I understood that, I had to be, confident to have everyone else follow behind me. So doing that, I feel like everyone else, stepped up, made really good shots, especially these two guys to my right and left.
Brian?
Yeah, it's partially a lot of percentages, you put in the work, you're confident in your shot, and then, you miss some shots, you make some shots, that's the game, but, it all balances out in the end.
Rob, Brian, Tyler, congratulations on another fantastic championship, and 3 times now. I know not all of you have participated in them, but that's something to be said about Montana State. We're really excited to watch you guys play, and we are looking forward to tomorrow night. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
At this time, really excited to welcome Matt Logie, the head coach of Montana State. In his first year has the Bobcats in the NCAA Tournament, and like mentioned before, it is their 3rd straight year. Coach, congratulations. Before we get to questions, your thoughts on this team and what they've been able to accomplish in your first season.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, a joy to be here. This is a group that has had a special journey to get here. We took over last spring around the end of April and had a ton of work to do in completing the roster. Number one, building a staff, and then redesigning with that roster in mind. How Montana State was going to look moving forward, and so this team has made me so proud in the way that they've stuck to the process and continued to keep their eyes focused on March as the goal for playing our best basketball, and the way that that's all come together in the last few weeks has been just a joy and a testament to the character of our players and staff.
Questions for Coach. The second row on the end.
Hey there, Coach. Parker Cotton from the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Can you take us through what the preparation for Grambling has looked like in the past 48 hours or so? Since you learned that that's your opponent, what jumps out about them on film that you're going to have to be mindful of?
Yeah, thank goodness for Synergy Sports. The ability to turn that page right away and dive into the film is obviously extremely helpful. They're a team that is also playing really, really good basketball. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They have a veteran backcourt that is very dynamic in Dozier and Moten, and so they very much know who they are. They've been, a team that has been, executing and running their system, throughout the year, all the way back to November, December. at a very high level. And they're well tested. You know, they played a lot of high major opponents in the non-conference, and you learn a lot about yourself in those scenarios. And then obviously have had a ton of success, you know, in conference play as of late. So very impressive team. You know, a group that plays extremely hard and knows who they are.
Second row.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports High Coach. Talking about that final stretch to end the regular season into the Big Sky Tournament, John Olmstead stepping into such a huge role off the bench. Can you just talk about what he's meant to the team?
Yeah, John's a great story. A young man that, you know, walked on for 4 years at Arizona State, played the role of a great teammate for 4 years on the scout team, and poured into his own development process, hoping to sometime, you know, crack into a rotational player. Obviously, with COVID giving him an extra opportunity, he joined us at Montana State last spring, and has just been an outstanding teammate. Had kind of an up and down year in the opportunities that he was given, but ultimately, you know, just needed the ability to play through some of those mistakes and things that he didn't have the luxury of doing in his previous situations. And so couldn't be prouder of him for the example that he set as a teammate, and it's a great story, you know, for the rest of our young men in sticking to it, and being prepared for your opportunity, and never stopping, believing in yourself, and being prepared. He has completely changed the dynamic of our team here in the last couple of weeks with his play, and really given us a boost and a lift that has been special to watch.
Follow-up question?
Just to share this moment with him as he's ending his collegiate career, what has it meant to you as a coach?
Oh, it's a beautiful storyline. I mean, going into senior night, he had pretty much one breakout game at Eastern Washington, and I think, you know, in his own mind even, that was proof of concept, you know, that he could do it, and that all that time and all that hard work was worth it. And I told him, you know, as he walked off the court at senior, I said, you know, the best is still yet to come. And, you know, when that's your senior night, your last game in your home arena, that may sound, you know, a little unique to hear, but it certainly came true last week in Boise as he continued to play at an extremely high level.
Second row in the middle.
Yeah, Austin Parr, SWX Montana head coach. We were talking with the guys about the low point of the season, that 4-game losing streak, something that you've never experienced as a head coach, and they gave you a lot of credit for keeping that confidence. So how are you able to keep the confidence in the locker room, and then obviously, you know, turn it around and go on this amazing run?
Yeah, I mean, I would point the credit towards our players. You know, I try to be consistent in who I am and what they can expect on a daily basis. I think the biggest underlying message of this team has been their ability to not overly focus on results, but focus on the process at hand to achieve the results that we desire. And, you know, there were definitely some valleys, and, you know, the 4-game losing streak being one. But when you come back from that, and you've got, you know, your second largest home crowd of the year waiting for you to pick you up off the deck, that made a huge impact on our young men and on our program. The community support in Bozeman has just been phenomenal, and they have not allowed us to wallow in the disappointment of short-term results, and to stay focused on what can be accomplished long-term. And you know, this is for all those folks that helped us in those moments.
Jump online via Zoom. Coulter, question for Coach.
Hi, Matt. Coulter Nuanez, ESPN Montana and Skyline Sports. What do you think of just this dynamic of playing in the first 4? I mean, you guys will be the first game in this whole tournament, so all eyes on Montana State and Grambling State. What do you think of that opportunity for your program and the university?
Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. Obviously comes with a lot of exposure for our basketball family and for our young men, which is well deserved. It's also an opportunity to keep the momentum going that we've built here in the last couple of weeks. I think you know, the more games we can play as soon as possible, the better. The more I can get out of their way and not have to hear my voice, you know, is fine with me. So we're excited about the opportunity to hit the court tomorrow night, and you know, it'd be a great opportunity for these guys to show, you know, what type of team they are.
Let's go to the second row.
Parker
accountant with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Matt, if you could maybe just build on that last answer. I know you've been at the first four before. One, could you remind us when that was and what kind of unique challenges go into preparing for this set of games?
Yeah, so my first year in college coaching, right after graduating from Lehigh in 2003, we won the Patriot League Championship in 2004 and came here to play Florida A&M in the playing game. I believe that was the first year, or maybe the second year that it had taken place. I think the biggest challenge that I remember from that time is just the pace of the turnaround, all the logistics, not to mention the prep of the team and the game itself. But fortunately for us, when you come in and you're hired, when we were hired as a staff, drinking from a fire hose feels like a water fountain to us. So it's all good. We've got a great staff that's been kind of dividing and conquering all the logistical pieces of it.
Second row in the middle.
Austin Parr, SWX Montana. Coach, third year in a row, winning the Big Sky. A lot of special players on this specific team. So, what do you hope to show the nation with not only Montana State Bobcats, but these guys that you're doing it with, especially a guy like Brian Goracke?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we were so excited to join forces with Montana State were the championship aspirations, the proof of concept that had been established by Coach Sprinkle and the staff before us. The foundation that was there from a cultural standpoint was very strong and fit a lot of the things that I believe as well. So while our roster is a little bit different and we play a little bit different style, the fabric of Montana State basketball was something that we wanted to hold on to. And that's what I would hope America would see tomorrow night is just kind of the chip on your shoulder, blue collar mentality that this group has. And I think, we are in the middle of, a golden era of Montana State athletics and Bobcat basketball in particular. And I still believe the best is yet to come. And so these guys all committed to being a part of that next chapter. And you mentioned Brian Goracke, who came, with me from Point Loma, to see a young man, not only turn down Division I opportunities out of high school, but then on the back end be able to accomplish, those childhood dreams and being a part of March Madness is a real joy for me and really special.
Legal tip of the day. If you have contact with law enforcement, everything you say can be used against you. Be very polite, respect the badge, and simply say, please let me call my attorney, Dwight Schulte.
Let's go to the fourth row in the back.
Connor McDonough, UD Sports Media. Coach, congrats on winning your first year at the postseason tournament, first year at the new school. How do you look to continue this success in this unique NCAA landscape of transfer portal and NIL?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, we had to navigate that last spring, bringing in, 8 new scholarship players. The transfer portal is, one of those eras that giveth and taketh. And so while we had a lot to replace, we were also able to find 6 young men that came here from other Division I situations that had yet to play their best basketball, that had a chip on their shoulder, and were more concerned with who they were playing for than who they were playing with, and trying to join forces or collaborate with super teams and whatnot. Obviously the NIL piece is new and changing rapidly, but there's still 2 things that are tried and true, and number 1 is player development, and then the second part is team building, and that's not just roster building, it's team building. And I think we've always taken great pride in the basketball family that I'm a part of, in player development and team building. And so once that process started in earnest in June, nothing was really different about our journey.
Second row in the middle.
Austin Parr, SWX Montana. Just thought of this. We did a golf segment back, when you first got hired. And just to look back from that moment to all the way now, being in the first 4, has there been like a pinch me moment or like a wow, like this amazing run? Like how amazing has it been for you?
It's been incredible. If I remember correctly, we fought a little bit of weather that day. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I did stick a water bottle up and catch lightning while we were on one of the holes. So I just tried to tuck that away for March and make sure that we could, release it here at the right time.
Let's go back to the second row.
Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports. A guy who does a lot of the little things, Eddie Turner. Can you just talk about, his play to end that stretch, especially in Boise, the way he distributes the ball with John, what he's meant to you being one of those players that came in this offseason?
Yeah, Eddie's been phenomenal, especially as of late. You're talking about a young man who played 19 games, I believe, over 4 years at Columbia due to a combination of injuries and illness and family circumstance. And so, it really, for him, was about getting through an entire season and learning the lessons that come with that and getting comfortable out there on the floor. He's got tremendous speed with the basketball. He's really allowed us to play, a fast-flowing style, and along with Rob. Those two guys have provided the veteran leadership in the backcourt that we had hoped, to attain when we built the roster, and so for him, he's just continuing to get better and better with the more game experience that he gets, and he's such a coachable, bright young man. Again, his best basketball is in front of him too.
Jump online via Zoom. Coulter, your question for Coach.
Hey, Coulter Nuanez, Skyline Sports. You mentioned just playing as many times in a row as you can to sort of harness this momentum. How do you continue to do that, and does that make this short turnaround a little bit easier?
Yeah, I think once we got to the last week of the regular season, we've been in game prep, game mode, almost for 20 days in a row now. We had 3 games in 5 days to finish the regular season, and then went to Boise to play 3 games in 3 days. And so, again, that creates a process that we're comfortable in. Our guys have done a really good job as the year has gone on at learning how to prepare quickly. And early in the year, we were a team that would play really well on Thursdays when we had 2 to 3 days to prepare. And then on Saturday, with a quick turn, we left some things to be desired a little bit. And those lessons have really, helped our team grow and learn how to, get prepared in short order.
We'll go to the second row.
Parker Cotton with the Bozeman Daily Chronicle. Matt, Grambling's coach, Dante Jackson, was in here not too long ago, and he joked that his team's difficult schedule this year was kind of born out of nobody wanting to play them after the success that they had 2 seasons ago. I'm curious if in your position you experienced any bit of that coming in, and maybe how much you expect to experience it this summer. And then also if you had any interaction with Coach Jackson, just what that has been like over these 2 days that you've been here.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet Coach Jackson yesterday, kind of in between practice times. He's obviously had a great run these last 7 years at Grambling and building the program that is highly respectable. And as we all know, at the mid-major level, the more success you have, the harder it is to schedule. We had a lot of the schedule in place when I got there. And then we had, a number of folks that wanted to take advantage of that coaching transition and signed up rather quickly. We'll see how that goes moving forward. But ultimately, you're trying to put a schedule together that's going to prepare you to win your conference tournament, your conference championship. And that can take on a lot of forms, throughout the season.
Coulter, another question for Coach?
Yep. Last one for me. Coach, you talk about your influences a lot, particularly your grandfather, and I'm sure you thought about him a lot since you cut down the nets in Boise. But could you just talk about that and just his influence on you getting to this point in your career?
Yeah, my grandpa, Ed Peppel, was a high school basketball coach in the Seattle area for 49 years. Spent 42 years of that 49 in one community. And I grew up in that basketball family. Watching his teams, like my son and daughter are, these days, and going on those journeys with them, and then ultimately had a chance to play for him in high school. And, that's why I coach, to pay that forward, the lessons that I learned, the relationships that were born, from those experiences are what make me who I am today. And it's been our guiding light as a basketball family for our vision for this program and for what can be accomplished when you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And so, while he's not with us today in person, I know that he's with me. Definitely felt his heart and spirit in Boise last week, and it's been really special to be able to pay a lot of those lessons forward.
Second row.
Lawrence, MTN Sports, just building off of that, Coach, being from a basketball family, your son sits at the end of the bench for all the games. He is such a character. I think we all like interacting with him. But what was it like sharing last week with him, especially because, like you said, you've been on the flip side of that? What's it like sharing that moment?
It's full circle. The life lessons you learn from this game and being a part of a team, I don't know that you can have a better platform as a father than that. And so that's what I've been familiar with and what I've seen, work well and been able to, again, pay that forward and try to pass that torch on to Luke and Addie. So being able to share those moments is very joyous. I'll never forget, turning around on Wednesday night and seeing Addison just waiting to hug me with tears running down her eyes. Those are really special memories because you can't do this job without your family supporting you. It just takes too much of yourself from a leadership perspective and putting yourself out there. Time management obviously is a huge component of that, and the schedules that we keep. And so they're a part of this journey. They're a part of this story just as much as any one of these players.
Coach, we look forward to more memories tomorrow night. Best of luck. Congratulations on a terrific season. Really excited to see the Bobcats for Wednesday.
Thanks a lot. Go Cats.
I've been practicing for over 12 years. I was born and raised in Missoula. This is where I want to practice. This is my community, and I want to be there to help the people who I grew up with.
I began my legal career in the United States Marine Corps. And I moved to Missoula, Montana and began practicing, and I just couldn't imagine a better place to live. What inspired me to become an attorney is I really have a passion for people, especially helping people. What we do here at Holloway and Hulling is we represent people that are in a very difficult time of their life, and we're here to make sure that their rights are protected and they get what they deserve.